Hello everybody and welcome back to Quick Gaming. I should probably move this out of the way so you can see it. Alright, so I made some minor adjustments, mostly just adding solar panels, a little bit of RCS fuel, throwing on the, holdy dudes so that they, stand up straight and just fall over immediately. But more or less it's the same craft. So I haven't looked up what the launch window is going to be yet. I'm just going to put this guy in orbit and fast forward once I'm there until I have a, way to get there. And I think I'm being laughed at from outside because I'm talking to myself in my room at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. Kind of drunk. And then, hopefully this thing won't fly apart and this won't be just a total whiff of an attempt at going to Eve. So I have already raised the throttle up, turning on the SAS, and let's launch this guy. Alright, we've cleared the tower, added some fins to the bottom and to the outside here, so hopefully there's some drag that'll pull these guys away, because I have not unlocked the Separatrons that would usually make these go sideways. So, ooh, there's the old KSP wobble, where this is basically a giant pool noodle, and I'm actually not even sure I'm gonna be able to fly this thing to orbit without it flipping. But I think we're doing pretty good. Sort of ouch from the bathroom. Hope everything is okay. Alright, we've passed Mach 1. We're going faster than sound. This thing hasn't flown apart just yet. I'm actually kind of nervous right now. Because I'm still not used to the new aerodynamics that were introduced in 1.0. Even though that was, like, months ago. But we're through the thickest part of the atmosphere. I think I can risk, tilting over a bit more. Like, I'm also flying by the numbers here. Because I think I might have to wait till my apoapsis is already in space. Apoapsis is your highest point in the orbit if you don't know. Oh, fucking hell. This is so nerve-wracking. Like, I'm getting, like, a lot of heating here. But I'm also hitting, like, 3 or 4 Gs of acceleration. But this is gonna hopefully not blow up. Alright, I will definitely make it to space. I am cutting my engines. And this is the part where I don't really want to use any of my monoprop yet, because I don't really have that much. I just want to hope that this eventually turns over. Just because of the slight amount of atmospheric pressure that's happening here. But I'm out of the vast majority of the atmosphere, so I am going to reignite my engine and try to make my burn for orbit. Because if I've done this right, this should fall back into the atmosphere. This stage will help us circularize, do our interplanetary burn. This stage will help us get into orbit around Eve. Yeah, I'm wobbling, but not as much as I thought. I feel like I'm actually doing kind of okay. I heard an explosion, but I don't think it was anything important, and I don't think you guys heard it either, so we could just pretend that it totally did not happen. Alright, as far as craft that I've never tested before, like I didn't do any like test flights like, oh, this is totally gonna make it. I am flying by the seat of the pants that I am not wearing. And also I realized that I shouldn't be looking up at my other screen where I can see me, and I should be looking at that camera lens where you can see me. I am so glad that I'm not in charge of any sort of space program. I mean, like, I know what I want to do, but I would be way too much of a mess to actually, you know, do this shit for a living. Alright, so this stage is going to burn out in a few seconds. And hopefully afterwards my frame rate will rise up from like 20 frames per second to like, you know, something manageable. Alright. Doing pretty good. I don't want this thing to explode, so I'm just going to start out with just a bit. Throttle up. Cut out, and let's see, we got 2 minutes till I hit apoapsis, which is above. Oh, that's a contract that I haven't accepted yet. Let's add a maneuver to circularize. Oh, come on, just a little further. Oh, that was too much. So I want my burn to be about that many fasts. I might actually be able to get a perfect circularization burn. So, that's what, 54 seconds? I'm pretty sure I can just eject the fairing now. This will all fall back in the atmosphere. It's non-persistent debris anyway, so it won't be a problem. So I will just hit spacebar, reveal our lander probe. We'll try my best to align with our, what's it called? Maneuver vector. Maneuver node. Alright, so once this gets down to about 27 seconds, we fire that engine for about a minute. We will be in orbit. Where's my Delta V readout? Yeah, and the rest of the stage will be able to put us on course, and this stage will hopefully slow us the fuck down. Okay, so we're getting up on 27 seconds. I'm going to go full throttle the moment we hit that, which is now. And we will be circularizing, and our burn will be done before we even see the sun. There's the moon off in the background. There's like the rest, the first stage, not the boosters, just the first stage of our craft behind us, falling back towards the planet. And there, I'm assuming, is the belt of whichever galaxy this takes place in. I should probably align that a little better. Right, so, judging by the numbers here, we're almost there. That is the we have orbit camera change, and then I will cut the engines. Close enough. That is fairly circular. Alright, disable RCS. I'm going to see just exactly where we are. Alright, there is Eve. You can see that there is a bit of junk there. That was part of a stage that was supposed to slow us down, but I think blew up. So I can bring that up. Debris doesn't even show. I must have actually hit the planet then. I thought it was in a stable orbit. Alright. So, next step. We do our interplanetary injection burn, which I think I'm going to start at the, what's it called? The Terminator, Day-Night Terminator. Which is where, well, the point where one part of the planet is in daylight and the other is not. So, that is an ejection burn. It should be just enough to place us just below Kerbin's orbit. And then I will do the rest of my course corrections in interplanetary space. Because I have had many, many moments where I've set up the perfect counter, done the perfect burn, and then missed by so much. Because I missed by maybe like 3 meters a second, and it threw me off to the point where I had to waste like 300 meters a second of delta V way too late. So I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to use my RCS engines to rotate so that we are pointing the right way for our burn. The burn time is about 1 minute and 12 seconds, so half of that is about 36 seconds. So we're going to do half of the burn before the node and half after. That should put us pretty close. So almost aligned. There we go. I'm going to fast forward a bit. Just use a bit of the time warp. Also, quick save so I don't have to go back to launch and re-record this entire episode. Right. And see, the sun is rising for us anyway. Almost at our burn node. I'm going to quick save once again, just a few seconds before. And when we hit 36 seconds, which was 2 seconds ago, I pushed the button. And we are on our way. Just burning our engines directly towards the sun. Because this ship will never, ever hit the sun. It simply does not have the delta V requirements. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could plot a course that would use a few gravity slingshots to do it. But I have no interest in actually trying to do that because I want to record this video in under 20 minutes and not spend like 7 hours trying to pull that off. I've done it before with like 4.5 hour long ion engine burns. It took so long. It took so long that I was able to set up a burn, go to work, come back, and then still have to work on it for like an hour or two. Alright, so our burn is now almost over. So we will cut our engines now. Whoop. Overshot a little bit. We are definitely in interplanetary space. Let's zoom in. Alright. So I'm going to use time warp to get us just outside of Kerbal sphere. I forgot about the H there. Like I said, this is Drunken Kerbal Space Program. Not as good as Scott Manley, where he has a background in like astrophysics and knows about orbital mechanics, and enjoys a craft beer while live streaming. I work at a bar, drink there after I punch out, like get home after last call, and it's currently 6:23 in the morning. I don't know what you are expecting from a channel called Quit Gaming. Gaming is like the last thing that like any of us should involved in this should quit. Right, so now we are, I believe, in interplanetary space. Let's see what the... Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I am now going to set Eve as a target. I'm going to pick a random point here, add maneuver, set a retrograde burn. Let's see, how long is it going to take for us to get any sort of... Oh, this is going to be a while, isn't it? It's... To get an intercept, it's going to be... I think at this point, well over a year. Unless, let's see, 673 meters a second of delta V in this stage. So what can I do with that? So Yeah, that is gonna be a long fucking time. But you know, that's what time warp's for. Just advance, you know, a few days per second. I gotta kill time warp just so I can see where that would be. Alright, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. This a lot of this episode. Like, I really wish I took the time to set up any sort of video editing software on this build of my computer, but I haven't, so you guys kind of have to suffer through that, and I don't. I get to be lazy and just upload this whole thing while just randomly bullshitting into a fucking shitty microphone and shitty webcam in a shitty tiny room. Alright, come on, just a little further along the orbit. Just, you know, drop a bit further in. Actually, was that... No. It's... Oh, man, this is gonna be... I'm so glad this is an unmanned probe. Because even though, like, Kerbals in this game don't need, like, food or anything else, unless you're playing with the mod, like, Tac Life support, I always feel terrible when I, like, send a Kerbal out into space basically forever to die. Actually, I wonder what the ascending and descending nodes are. I'm just gonna fast forward. 2.1 degrees. Can I... I'm gonna see if I can just set up a maneuver node here where I can just at least align the planes. Yeah, it's doable. Wait, did that just switch them? Did not want to do that. Let's cancel that. Try again. Add maneuver. Descending node, so I want to go pretty much up. 0.4. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's gonna burn off half the delta V in the stage, but it will be completely worth it. And I don't have to be too accurate with the burn. Like, I overshot by an hour, but, you know, fuck it. Just gotta use some RCS to tilt this guy. Like, I meant this stage to do a lot of that, but also I want to decelerate as much as, like, physically possible before I even touch the atmosphere. Because Eve's atmosphere is thick as hell. Like, I hit it like I was hitting a fucking brick last time I tried to do a mission like this. That's why I only got, like, the, you know, science from around Eve bit of the contract. Alright, so that should have put us in the same plane. Eve is right here. This is its orbit. This is our orbit. We are pretty much aligned. I mean, as much as you can be from, like, a few million meters, well, full few million kilometers out. So now I'm going to adjust where I make my burn. And also, this is going to be a close enough burn where I'm not going for, like, an exact, like, oh, I'm going to just barely skip the atmosphere in this. Oh, that's what I want. That's, like, 14 kilometers above the atmosphere. But that's also in about in about a year. But also, this is Kerbal days. Kerbal days are 6 hours instead of 24 hours, you know. Alright, this episode is going long. I'm going to call it here. I'll see you guys next time when I try to land. Bye.